Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on Let's Talk Well-Being, Productivity, and Achievement of Dreams. I hope we are all achieving our dreams wherever we are, and we all doing well. Thank you for joining us. We don't take it for granted. Today, joining us is no stranger. She has been on our platform before and empowered us. Joining us is Coach Sicelo Maseko. Coach Sicelo is a mentor, transformational speaker, personal development coach, executive and management coach, women empowerment advocate, certified life coach, and NLP practitioner. She's the founder of WAF Global Foundation, which is a women and youth empowerment organization. Welcome on our platform, Coach Sicelo. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you availing yourself. We are all encouraged to have a vision. How does a vision impact our well-being, productivity, and achievement of dreams?
That's a question to me. Good afternoon, good morning to our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much, Mrs. Maseko, for giving us an opportunity to engage. I want to believe that we are both learning together in this platform. And your question says, how does personal vision affect? If you can repeat that as well, maybe in bits and pieces so that I'm able to respond.
Okay, thank you for that. I said we are all encouraged. Generally, people tell us to have a vision. Like beginning of the year, everyone will be talking about a vision, be it in church, at home, at work. Everyone is talking about having a vision. So my question was, how does a vision impact our well-being, productivity, and achievement of dreams? Why should we have a vision?
I think let's start with dissecting what a vision is. Because I've realized, Mrs. T, that most people associate having a vision with companies or an organization having a vision. A vision simply says, this is what I want to achieve. In layman's terms, it talks to saying, this is what I want to achieve at the end of it all. This is what I want to become. This is what I want to see happening in my life. This is the vision says that in a nutshell, it is a clear picture, a mental picture. It may not be clear at that time, but a mental picture that drives you from within in terms of your becoming, in terms of what you want to see in you. I will give an example, Mama Zebogo, in terms of we grow up in different backgrounds. Many cases, it's unpleasant backgrounds, unpleasant upbringings, but deep within you, the girl child in you, the boy child in another says, I want to see myself as a doctor. That is a vision for that particular person. Somebody says, I want to see myself as a business person. If it's about business, I want to see myself as a renowned service provider or a global service provider or a local service provider. So when you talk why then one needs to have a vision, it then says each year you must be driving towards that vision, because vision cannot happen today as you speak about it unless really there is divine intervention, but in a nutshell, you are able to work towards your vision. The Bible says, my people perish. I wear another hat as we are in this platform. My people perish because of lack of vision. So imagine entering a new year. we're just a few weeks away from 2026 and you have nothing to work towards, So a vision, having a vision gives me a sense of something to work towards. I want to believe we are all work in progress. So as such, this vision will cause me to gather people, resources, finances, money, collaborations, partnerships in order to build onto it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the challenge. The year has gone past. Sometimes when we start the year, we have so much. We write down. We think we know who we want to be, but the year goes so fast, and I like the idea that you are challenging us to start now to think what we want to go with in 2026.
Yeah.
And as you're just saying that, I was just thinking many people believe in creating vision boards to help their pursuit of vision, as you're encouraging us that vision is knowing where you want to be. What is a vision board? And are there like different types of vision boards? Different categories?
Yeah. I will give an example because I want people, sometimes we bring these big words that people cannot relate with, right? So, number one, a vision board becomes a picture that could be presented. Firstly, you cannot have a vision board without a vision. So when you now have a vision board, it means you have well crafted your vision, say in a sentence, this is what I'm becoming. Or there are words that will be dropped in your heart based on that which you want to achieve in your life. Talking of categories, Tafatwa, we are talking of one can have a vision board, which is a high level or a holistic view of what you want to achieve. Most of the times I talk about the wellness wheel, right? That speaks about every aspect of your life. Number one, it will speak to, say, your spirituality. I always believe that our spirituality is the glue that holds it all together. So you will have, what do I want to see? If you are a child of God, what do I want to see happening? Am I improving on my prayer life? That's another vision board. Is it the word of God that I want to, improve on? Or is it my prayer life? Is it knowing God? Is it my way of fellowshipping and serving? Those are things that can go through the slot of your spirituality. Then on the other side, you can have a financial vision board where you want to improve your financial healthy, your financial well-being. That's where one you can put together. You're looking at what debts do I have? Do I need to, it's financial and wealthy. Do I need to save money? Have I not been saving? What have I done well? So before you put all this together, I'll be jumping here and there. Before you put all this together, you look at what are my three most important deliverables, say, for this coming year. Organizations will do strategic, objectives or strategic, the 5-year vision. As an organization, a vision board then will give you a picture, physical picture. I'm trying to look for mine here. I will look for it. I will show you. Personally, I've got 3-4 different vision boards. One that speaks to the overall of everything that I wanted to achieve. And then number 2, then every year I look at it, I review what is it that I focused on more and what is it that I need to focus on this year, right? So that being said, one would want to do a business vision board. One, as a family, they want to do maybe a couple's vision, because this is very important, especially for families and couples as well. you will discover that you live with Ubab Temba and yourself. The other one is going to the east, the other one is going to the north. How do we then? The Bible says, Amos 5:5, how can two walk together unless they've agreed? So those are things, it's important to have the family vision board. You're the head of the house by right, as a priest of the house, has to give us vision. This is where we are going. This is how I want to see my family. There is a lot that goes to it. You as a helper, as the wife, then you are bringing input. Baba, I was thinking these are the things that we can live. These are the values that we want to live. This is the culture that we want to live. So those are things, just typical examples of how one can build onto their vision board and their vision at large. Thank you.
You spoke about corporates coming up with strategic plans. I wanted to ask, how do personal and corporate vision boards differ? If so, how are they different?
Yes. So they will differ in the sense that, for example, if it's my personal vision board, I want to upskill myself, I want to develop myself in certain areas, I want to build relationships with certain people, I want to improve on my networking skills. This pertains to me, my personal development plan as an individual. If it is about a family, as a family, where are we lacking behind in that which fosters or promotes a healthy family lifestyle? So that's how it differs. The organization, they will always, in most cases, you will discover that there will be a 5-year plan, a 5-year vision, on top of the vision, the overall vision of the organization. But the organization, if they are looking at scaling up, if they are looking at rebranding, then they give themselves timelines to say, in the next 2 years, this is what we want to do. In the next 5 years, this is what we want to do. In the next 10 years, this is how we are positioning ourselves. And as such, I always say to people, treat yourself like an organization. The efforts, a company will say, we want to improve maybe on technology, on aligning with technology. This is an era of digital system, era of AI. This is what we are improving in order to up our systems and related. Some other vision will speak to the service offerings. What are we doing? We've seen companies, changing packaging and all that in order to reposition themselves in this competitive edge. So as such, imagine if you do that. And I want to say to us, I love how you asked it too, because I'm saying, can we treat ourselves as a company? Maybe as we are talking, those who are watching us, I will humbly request that you can be throwing in your comments from what Tafato is saying, and also being able to ask questions. We will be picking up your questions as well, so that we are able to engage. We don't want this to be more like a telling story. Give us your input, give us where you have struggled, give us where you need clarity, so that these sessions become very fruitful for both of us, because I believe that we are all work in progress. We are here to learn together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, if you have any comments or questions regarding what we are discussing this afternoon, we would appreciate if you put in the comment section, and we'll definitely share them. From what I'm understanding, from what you're saying, would we say employees are encouraged to align their vision with the company's vision?
In a company, you belong, right? You belong in that organization. It becomes a challenge when you are misaligned. Remember, you will know your company vision board, right? At the same time, that does not shy you, that does not make you not align, because many times vision will also align to your purpose at the end of the day. If you are working, for example, you are now at Checkers, you are working at Woolworths, you are working at KPMG or whichever company that you are working for. At the end of the day, remember, you are a part. For you to have a sense of belonging in that company, it's always important to understand what is the overall vision of the company. The overall vision of the company does not kill your own vision. Let's get that clear. My organization has its vision in terms of the service offering that we give, in terms of what we do. But at the end of the day, it becomes totally different from the vision of my family, because as a family, this is where we want to see ourselves. So it's important that whatever you join, whether it's a church, whether it's an organization, understand the vision and find yourself in the pieces of that particular puzzle. Because your contributions, the reason why they employed you, they believe you possess a skill, you possess some form of expertise or capability that will aid the company to achieve their overall vision, their strategic goals, strategic objectives, and related. Thank you.
I have heard people say that sometimes what makes organizations not to be successful is because you are surrounded with people who have not bought in the vision. How
Absolutely.
does the corporate vision motivate teamwork and productivity?
When when you have bought into your vision, into a vision of an organization, even a church, when you have bought into it, guess what happens? You own that part. You become a part of what is happening. The DNA of that organization, of that whatever, whether public sector or whatever, you won't do things like everybody else. When you have bought into your vision, you understand how you are contributing into that vision, right? So imagine when you just walk into it. Have you ever heard? I've heard you go to our public hospitals, right? And you'll hear somebody, or public schools, you hear somebody says, I just work here. Have you ever heard that? I just fellowship here. I just work here. That simply says a person has not allowed the vision to embed in them, has not allowed to own. Imagine even in your home where you are like, I just work here. I'm just a wife. I'm just a husband in this house. I'm just a child. But when you have bought into a vision, every vision, Habakkuk 2 speaks about, write down the vision so that whoever will run with it has an understanding of what we are doing. But the sad part is that these things are written at the end of the day. This becomes an internal matter where you are saying, am I into this? Am I here because I want to contribute positively? In an organization, you can be employed for 5 years or even 6 months, but leave positive footprints that will boost the profits of the company. I think that's where we miss it a lot, because when it's an issue of like, I work here, I just work here, it means you have not owned it. Somebody who has bought into a vision, the challenges of the organizations become your own. You understand? The positivity, the profits, the branding of the organization. You become a brand ambassador of a vision that you know, a vision that you have received, a vision that you have welcomed, a vision that you have owned as well. Thank you.
I like the idea that you're sharing that if you have bought in the vision, you're part of it. You take when the challenges come, you embrace them as your own. And I guess the challenge with many people, they join an organization to just get a salary. If I get my money, then I'm happy. If I don't get my
Yeah.
money, I go next door. But
Mm,
I agree with you that if you get a team that
mm,
really buys into your vision, you find,
mm,
especially with small businesses,
mm.
sometimes money doesn't come when you expect it to come,
Sure.
and you can't pay people on time. So if your employees have bought in the vision,
Mm,
they will endure with you because they know the vision, they know the long term, they
mm,
know that whatever they are going through at that moment is temporary because they've embraced the
mm,
bigger vision. But if you are surrounded by people who just want to feed their families, then
mm,
you've got a
mm,
challenge because
mm,
when they can't feed their families, then they're not with you. You just spoke about Habakkuk 2, verse 2, which says that write the vision down, make it plain, and that he may run with it, he will read it. How
mm,
important is it to write your vision down? Like, what are the advantages? Because sometimes I may know my vision and I know it
mm,
in my head.
mm, mm,
Why should I write it down, like maybe on a vision board, have pictures as you mentioned, or
mm,
maybe write it in my diary?
mm.
And what's the advantage? Or it's a matter of preference. Would you say
Yeah.
that maybe those who use a vision board get more results than those, maybe someone who just takes a notebook and they write their vision, or they just write on their laptop?
Yeah, I want to believe there's something that you spoke, you asked earlier, and it just comes as you are talking now. Number one, vision boards are presented differently. Some people don't want to believe. I recall I saw something on TikTok. Somebody says, don't do a vision board. It was on Instagram. Don't do a vision board. And I'm saying, but that's your preference. You understand? There are things that we will encourage. For me, and I want to believe that's human nature. When you have written down something, Mrs. T, say you've done that with your husband together, when it's written down and it's in this huge, board that you see daily, this becomes number one, your prayer points. You give yourself affirmations because at some stage your vision will scare you, to say, is this really? So imagine being a head of the house that has a vision on his head. Yeah. And then people are asking you, head of the house, you tell them, no, it's in my head. Yeah. But then how will your poor wife or poor husband understand what you are working towards? If it's an organization, you are building yourself a company, at some stage, you are your first accountability partner before all others. You should reach a point where you are able to write down and say, this is what I've done. Writing it down helps you go back and review, go back and refine, go back and re-strategize. So I've got 3 R's here. One of reviewing, go back, review, go back and re-strategize, go back and realign. It's a whole host of R's that we have here. So when you have written it down, you are able to go back and say, so I feel that the visions that are in people's head, many times they do not really come to fruition. Because when I wake up my vision boards are in my office every day. When I'm sitting here, it's easy. I'm trying to get somebody to come and bring for me. It's easier for me to say every Thursday as I do my fastings and prayers, I go back to my vision board. It makes me accountable. You understand? So imagine when I say, no, what I'm becoming is in my head. That's exciting, really. Yeah. Mm.
When he is saying greetings, how
Mm.
do you make people buy into the vision?
As an organization, there are different interventions where, as an organization, let's talk of an organization, obviously the company that you work for. Thank you so much and greetings to you. You will discover the company will share their strategic objectives, say 3 to 5 years. Number one, as a leader, one of the things that we do is vision casting, where there are interventions that speaks to say, let's gather. It could be town hall sessions, it could be other maybe online or face-to-face sessions that we are doing together in your teams, because this thing must be brought at a higher level, cascading down. And as such, as you bring this down to the people, explain I think last time we spoke about the 5 W's and an H, right? The what, the where, the who, the why, the when, and the how. 5 W's and an H, right? So if you look at that, the company then brings people together and lays the vision and say, this is what we are believing. Remember, we are just talking about a small business now. Many times as small businesses, we don't have systems. We want to use people as one night stands, right? That's me that can say that. Somebody who becomes a one night stand. So your employees become a one night stand. They don't know. All they know is that I'm going to be given my 5,000 or my 3,000. There's nothing. But imagine when you sit with your team and begin to unpack, family, this is where we are going. And I want you to understand, change management is very important as well. The change management process is very, very important. The people change, the change of systems. What are we bringing on board? And you will discover that there will be resistance in some of the employees. And as organizations will not be able really to please everybody, but what the efforts that you make as a leader, as a manager within your space, guys, this is what we are working towards. This is where we are going. As we push it along, you can bring in even incentives that are going to boost morale, that are going to boost productivity. We are looking at also rewards and recognition, right? Where when one has done well, you have platforms. It could be notice boards, it could be come in the form of news flashes, it could come in the form of even non-monetary recognition program, that incentives that you can bring together so that people feel we belong here, and you walk the journey of embedding this vision on them.
Thank you. That was very enlightening. I hope Wendy got the response she was looking for. I hear like most churches just announcing their visions and like their vision statements. Some churches, they announce their vision statements beginning of every service. Some don't. There's some churches where you don't know whether there's a vision or there isn't, or maybe the man of God has it in his head, as we spoke earlier. And do churches need to have like a vision? You've mentioned that the team needs to know where they're going, why they're following you, but do we say like those churches that have a known vision succeed more than those churches where the vision is probably not known? And the argument with those maybe we don't share a vision could be we are spirit-led. We believe the spirit leads
That's
us.
carelessness. That's being careless. If you are a church and you don't have a vision, it's careless. Where are you taking the people of God to, right? Jesus himself is a visionary leader. He knew what he was going to do. Everything that he had to do, Tafadzwa, was led by that. He knew his vision, he knew also his purpose. That is why your vision will also filter and screen certain people away from you. Will remove and bring other people through that will be a part of what you are doing as an individual. So maybe those ones that we think have no vision, they have it in their heads. Maybe the message that we need to put now is to empower one another. The same Bible says, my people, are perishing because of lack of knowledge. And in some instances, it says they reject knowledge. So that being said, I really want us to reach a point where we are asking ourselves, go ask somebody in the church. If you are in a church where there is no vision, please begin to ask the right questions, rightfully so, with all due respect, and say, where are we going? Because remember, a vision says this is where we are going, right? This is who we are becoming. So imagine going to a church where you don't know the vision. Then how are you even going to have your own personal vision if you are in an environment that doesn't articulate the vision?
Yeah, I hear you that we need to know the vision. I hope some church leaders on this platform are hearing that and they will write vision, because sometimes it may be difficult for church members to approach the man of God or woman of God and ask them
There
where
is
to get
leadership in the
visions.
church, remember. Yeah.
Mm.
So when we are talking, say, the church vision, remember there will be that overall vision of the church. But in order to bring growth within the church, you really need to have something that your leadership knows of. Think of, maybe you want to buy property, you want to move from that tent to a structure. All those things why am I saying this, Tafatsa? It's such that we don't come up and say these things are westernized, these things are whatever. As an individual, as a church leader, as a leader, if you are just waking up in the morning, Jesus was strategic, is still strategic up to today. We are living because of a vision that was put on him, and he moved forward. He taught, he did this, he moved from this time to another. Having a vision is different from saying I was being led by the Spirit of God in terms of what is being done within a church setup. When you are having a vision, for example, some people will say, our assignment or our mandate is just to win souls. You understand? Then for some people that are like me, we have got a wellness, a holistic wellness and empowerment kind of a mandate that we have. Therefore, our vision is aligned with where we are going, with the mandate of where we are going. That is why churches, then it's important to have those.
Yeah, you spoke about couples creating a vision. If the husband doesn't have a vision, can the wife come up with a vision?
It's tricky. Remember, we live in a diversified kind of an environment, right? This is me speaking from an objective seat. When you are married to somebody with no vision, this becomes an area of limping in your family, an area of weakness that the enemy will use to access you. Because your children, many of us, the reference of a family that we have is from a dysfunctional setup, right? The father you saw was that father of yours that was beating your mother, that was an alcoholic. I'm just giving examples, right? The mother that you saw was a mom that was busy in the fields, plowing, doing whatever, bearing 9 children or 20 of them. That's all our parents had. Imagine if you take that as your frame of reference in this day and age, how then do you move? Who are you modeling? So why it's important then, it's that when families are in a healthy family setup, you have those engagements. Trust me, when these engagements are well received, families, couples needs to have honest conversations. The challenge today, Tafatswa, is that you walk in, they buy you a Huawei phone or a Samsung, and you think that's the end of it. Life is bigger than that. What legacy are you leaving? What values are you living? How are you developing yourself? Which schools are your children going to go to? What is our investment plan as a family? Should one of us die first and the other one remain? How am I gonna, how are we gonna run things? You understand everything else going forward. This takes people, two people that are resolute into building together, because the Bible says the two shall become one. When you share a vision as a couple, when you have a shared vision, then it becomes better, because at the end of the day, you are able to say, you know what, this we failed, this we did well. We understand that, it's very, very important.
I agree with you. When the vision is known, even conflict is less, is minimal, because you know where you're going. There's no need to fight as a couple. Sometimes what causes conflict in relationships is because there's no vision. There's no non-vision. So people don't know what to follow. It's in the husband's head. Proverbs 13, verse 12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. I hear people saying quitting is not an option. If your vision is not coming to pass, can you change the vision? Like maybe you wrote down the vision beginning of the year, or you've had a 5-year vision, but it's really not coming to pass year in, year out. You are not
Yeah.
seeing the
Let's
results.
talk about this. I
Yes.
spoke about goals. I spoke about objectives, right? So remember, the vision is the end results of a longer term. But in between, there are goals, short term, medium, long term goals. There are objectives in this process. So, as such, let's not shy away from saying you need help as well, most of the times in building your vision and also finding clarity, because I'm realizing that most people, they take what you call it goals as the overall vision. You understand? I want to say, if I have a vision, earlier, me and you have been chatting, had a lovely conversation explaining to you about the vision of the women organization that we are running as an interdenominational ministry. And I was explaining to you, these are the legs that we are doing. The vision is not changing. However, we may change activities, we may change the goals within, because the vision has already set in us into saying, is it goals that you are changing? Is it plans that you are re-strategizing? Are you re-strategizing? Are you doing things differently in order to achieve the bigger whatever? For example, one might say, I want to have a master's degree. Why do you want to have it? That's the what. The what is a master's degree. Why do I want to have it, right? Where am I gonna do it? When am I gonna do it? Then you bring the part, the edge part that says, how am I going to do it? So that does not make me change. Yes, I can study differently. I can change my line of expertise. For example, if I wanted to be a lawyer, or I wanted to be an attorney, and somebody now, I now want to be a doctor. That is a consultative process, because we want to know your why. So it's important to define our why, to understand this is why I'm doing this and all that, So that's where the change, I would say a yes and a no, to your answer, because I'm saying it's, I don't want people to live here misinformed. This is a very broad topic. I don't want you to live misinformed because you're saying Coach Sicelo said I can change my vision. Imagine if as a couple you decided this is what we are building towards, certain things you can put on hold, and these are goals or activities that you are supposed to do in line with the bigger vision that you are working on.
Thank you for that. Can a person have a new vision in their adulthood? Like maybe you're just on this
Mm,
platform
mm,
and
mm.
you didn't know about a vision. And now you know that you can have a vision. Can you have a vision in your adulthood?
Yes, definitely. Remember, we spoke about number one. I said we come from disadvantaged background, many of us, right? So in this disadvantaged background, Tafatswa, you discover that you've become a person that you are not, right? You become somebody. You spoke a very beautiful scripture that speaks about hope that has been deferred, right? So it's possible to discover you, to bring back that girl child, bring back that boy child who wanted to be a doctor, who wanted to be maybe an actuary. You wanted to do that. And as time allows from your end, as you can, what is it that I can do now? There is no one without a vision. I think the challenge that we have is that most of us, it's remained in our head or hearts. That's where it has remained. But as soon as you meet a certain caliber of people, or as you attend workshops, as you network, your vision gets shaped slowly but surely, gets shaped. So yes, in this day and age, sit with somebody, sit with a coach that can be able to sit down with you, because, and it's true, Tafata, there are people that will tell you, I don't think I have a vision, I don't know anything. So that being said, it becomes, a building block for you to say, oh, I didn't realize this is what I can. There are people, for example, maybe you have had teenage pregnancy. Let's give an example. Teenage pregnancy, all your hopes were deferred. All your ideas were like, ah, maybe you grew up in an environment where you were told you are useless, you'll never amount to anything. That on its own kills your self-esteem, kills your that visionary mindset. If you go to the word of God from Genesis 1, it will speak about that. Let us make men in our own image. So that they will have dominion. This speaks to leadership. This speaks to, so already as human beings, we are wired with being visionaries. We are wired with becoming, it's already in us. But you discover that your upbringing, relationships sometimes, Tafatswa, relationships really can cause somebody see themselves as nothing altogether.
And thank you for that. It's encouraging that you can have a vision at any stage of your life. Maybe you've been looking down on yourself. You thought maybe people told you long enough that you're worth nothing, and you believed it.
Mm,
So I hope this will challenge you to go back and reverse that
mm,
which you believed. Our mindset can always be changed. And this takes me to the next question. Dr. James Makamba said,
mm,
don't kill your dreams with small thinking. Start
mm,
humbly, but do not let your vision shrink. How
mm,
does one's thoughts impact on achieving the vision? Like you spoke about maybe one's low self-esteem, maybe you have a low
mm,
self-esteem and you really think maybe I should just take life one day at a time as it comes. What's the
mm,
point of planning 5 years ahead? maybe you've been unfortunate that you've lost family members. Sometimes grief can also make you to think, what's the point? At the end of the day, maybe I will not even achieve the vision. How do our thoughts impact how we achieve the vision?
I love what you are saying. Thank you so much, ma'am. When you are talking about thinking small, right? So, what is it? Let's get to the core of what makes you think small. It is undealt with emotional or traumas that have set on you, and they shape the person that you are. They shape your day-to-day living, how you see yourself when you look in the mirror. I've got a mirror in my office every day where I look at myself. Question is, when you look at yourself, what mental picture do you have in you? If you, sometimes it's environments, Tafatswa, let's not run away from them. There are environments as a wife, there are environments as a young girl, a young boy, and an individual as a man that will bring you to nothing, that will shrink you to nothing. You just live, you exist. You understand what I'm saying? So what I want us to say is that your vision has to be stronger than your emotions. Number one, this means that your long-term goals, that is your vision, right? They need to outweigh your current feelings. It's not about emotions. Emotions are temporal. Today you wake up excited. Tomorrow you wake up, you are angry. The following day you are enthusiastic. You want to do one, two, three. And emotions and feelings, they change, they shift from time to time. Yet your vision becomes your anchor. When emotions, let's talk about different types of emotions. It could be fear, it could be doubt or a frustration that will just kick in, or a voice within that says you will amount to, remember, you are this, remember, you tried this, look at your uncle did this and all that. Imagine when these things kick in. Your vision should be clear and compelling enough to guide your decisions and actions, especially when feelings or you encounter opposition or adversity along the way. So one of the things says, as you have identified your core vision, write it down, make it specific, make it articulate onto it, let it be vivid and emotionally resonant, however, not driven by your emotions. When emotions get overwhelming, what your frame, your reference is that vision that you wrote down when everything is coming through. Revisit your vision in order for you to recalibrate.
Thank you very much for that. It's quite inspirational. It says your vision is to be stronger than your emotions. If you do not keep your vision in front of you, life will bury it. I think that's what you were explaining there, where
Yeah.
if you allow your emotions to determine how you pursue your vision, then you may not achieve much. And normally there are obstacles. You find we write the vision at the beginning of the year, but there are obstacles. But as you mentioned, if you believe enough in the vision and if you've written it down, because writing down also reminds you. Well, sometimes if it's not written down, you have no record. So recording it helps you to remember that, you know what, I may be facing these obstacles, I may be having these challenges, but there's still this vision. And it also helps even to think of alternatives. Because sometimes what makes us be stuck is because we don't have the vision in front of us where we are challenged. Because sometimes you spoke about environment. The best person to challenge yourself is you. If you're not challenging yourself, even if the environment is encouraging, you will not achieve much. So, as you were saying, that sometimes you need to stand before the mirror and tell yourself that we are not about to quit. As much as we are facing these challenges in this vision, the vision we have to speak. Yeah. How does one measure the success of their vision? How do you know that I have achieved or I am in the right track?
Okay, so maybe before I answer that, I also wanted us to talk. Remember, you spoke again about how emotional intelligence can, assist us. So in all of this, remember with emotional intelligence, right? You are helped to manage yourself and your relationships effectively. I will go to that question because it will tie in. So in emotional intelligence, we'll be talking about self-awareness. I spoke about that exactly earlier, where I'm saying recognize your emotions and understand how they influence your decisions, right? If you are aware of your emotional triggers, which, for example, could be procrastination. When you are overwhelmed, you can steer yourself back to the vision, right? Then there is self-regulation. Number one is what? Self-awareness. Then there is self-regulation. So emotional intelligence will then enable you to manage your emotions constructively when faced with setbacks or overwhelming situations. This emotional intelligence, Tafatswa, will help you pause at some stage, will make you breathe, we understand that, and refocus to your vision instead of reacting impulsively. That's regulation. Then motivation, emotional intelligence fuels your inner motivation that becomes the drive to pursue your vision for your reasons, not your external validations, not things that were said, not things what were spoken over your life. So just a few things. I wanted to also talk about resiliency, that an emotionally fit person is able to build resilience by looking at setbacks without losing sight of your vision. I think that's very important. You are better at bouncing back from your failures and adjusting strategies without getting derailed emotionally. How do I then keep myself accountable? Remember, you have written this down, let's assume. Whether you have put it on Canva, whether you have an electronic vision board or my boards that are printed out and all that, then at the end of the day, let's normalize that on a daily basis. Do that one thing. There's a saying that speaks to that, a step, right? That one step that you take forward is a step. It's a bold step moving forward, right? So when you have written down, let's just give an example. Say your vision board was focused on your finances. Your finances, you are looking at, I'm owing 3 million, right? As I'm owing this 3 million, I've given myself a 5-year plan to finish it, right? Then afterwards, I've got these other debts. I need to save money. You have sat with your financial advisor. So your vision needs people as well. You are not going to run that vision alone. You begin to tick, have I achieved? Don't wait to review at the end of the year. Every week, sit down and review, what have I achieved? What were my setbacks? Where did I fail, along the way? Then you move forward. The challenge is we write it in Jan, we want to only review it in December. So you measure them, you do a checklist. Beyond the vision board itself, you need an action plan. You need SMART goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. They are time-based. We need something like that. This is how you'll measure if you are progressing or derailing.
Thank you very much, Coach Sicelo. That was very insightful. I like the idea that don't wait until maybe the end of the year or until the 5 year where you've set your vision. You can check your vision by monitoring your action plans and the
Weekly,
goals
monthly. Weekly, you do your monthly, you do your quarterly reviews. You look at your 6 months plan. I always say to people, remember, this is you. Let's talk a personal vision. This is you. You want to see yourself. Yes, you were left behind. You never wrote your matric. We can't. Your father never took you to school. Now you are 40. You are still telling us what you were telling us when you were 25. Let things change. You understand? Let's see, what are you bringing on the table? What are you doing? Are you rewriting? Are you upgrading yourself? Do you want to stay and do that degree? How are you going to do it? Do you have resources in place? What are you downgrading? What needs to be done? Maybe another topic that we need to cover is the issue of, say, the how part is important as a topic on its own.
Thank you very much, Coach Sicelo. We really appreciate your contribution. We'll definitely have you back on the platform to discuss the how in 2026. Coach Sicelo coaches individuals. She coaches groups. She is also a speaker, as I mentioned earlier. So if you want, as a group or as an individual, to be coached on how to create your vision boards, and some of them, when it gets a bit more personal, because on this platform it's broader, it's like a general. So if you want, you maybe a church, you want it to help you on developing your vision, creating vision boards. You are a small company, you are a school, you are an organization. Coach Sicelo offers those services. Coach Sicelo, if people want those services from you, where can they find you? If they want more of your services that you offer.
On Facebook, I'm Sicelo Maseko. You are welcome to follow me because I've exceeded the number of 5,000 followers. Follow me there. You're welcome to inbox. Then there is also, we've got a website, www.threestrands.co.za. At the same time, we've got bookings at threestrands.co.za. And we are, as we speak, this is the right time. I wouldn't even recommend people to do, I know many people, we love planning late. A person who's planning well for 2026, our adverts should be out. I've already got invitations for July, for August, September next year. So let's normalize, family, to plan well. Let's normalize to do things well. Book your session as a couple for vision board. As an individual, you said, can a wife have a vision board? Yes, a wife is human. I want us to learn there is a difference between individualism and being an individual that is able to live their dreams. If the other person, it's possible to be in a relationship where one partner or spouse is laid back, or traditionally they are carrying a wave of traditionalism, or they don't believe, people say this is for white people, this is for Kinto Tamahoa, So I want us to look at this to say, as you enter 2026, I know most of us with AI, you think it's better to just go buy a magazine, I'll do it myself and all that. Vision boards are spiritual, to be honest with you. You are going to be fought. The minute you begin to write it down, look at all those things, book us. My cell number is 083 547 7039. We are running, this is the season, November, December, while everybody's busy sharing grocery stock fails. Please book yourself, invest a session. Maybe we must tell people to begin to save a stock fail to consult us, right? Because people people want to save to buy bologna and meat and all that, but and nothing on your development, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach Sicelo. We really, really appreciate your contribution, and everyone who is joining us this afternoon. We really appreciate your support. Our Dreamers Daily Planner 2026 is also available. It's in blue and white. So if you want our planner, you can send us a WhatsApp, or you can write us an email to tafazwa@tafazwamasbukospeaks.co.za. If you want to check out our other books, we also got other books: The Dream That Is Worth Fighting For, The King's Dream for His Daughter, The Legacy of My Father. We also got a prayer journal, The Dream. You can also visit our website, www.tafazwamasbukospeaks.co.za. We thank you again for joining us. Let's keep dreaming. Your dream is worth fighting for. And don't forget to write your vision down. Thank you for joining us. Cheers.
Ma'am.